Hi, I'm Rochelle Bradley, and thank you for joining me today for another Tuesday teaser. I'm sitting in Centerville Cemetery, and it's a little known cemetery behind a lot of businesses, and it's really peaceful here. Yeah, I love old cemeteries. So keep your eye out for friends behind us because I am the only alive person here, and this is the view behind me. Because it's hidden back behind all these buildings and the main drag, and hardly anybody knows it's here. It's kind of strange because, I don't know, I like cemeteries. I think it's just neat to see the history, and at the same time it makes me sad. Weird thing about the cemetery is, and I hope you can hear me because of the wind, is that even though it's old, it's quite old, most of the grave markers say somewhere in the 1800s. I know that this is America, and we don't have, our history doesn't go that far back as far as Christian burial. Hopefully I'm alone in the cemetery and there aren't any spooky friends around. If there are, hello people. Why are you here and not partying in heaven? So I'm going to read my Tuesday teaser from the cemetery because it's peaceful. The Revolutionary War guy. That is so cool. In memory of Samuel Irwin, who departed his life January 21st, 1826, aged 81. Man, he was old for back then. And here's a different guy. Oh, co-founder Aaron Nutt. He's also a Revolutionary War hero. Cool. Didn't know we had Revolutionary. Didn't realize it went back that far. Here. I mean, this is Western Ohio. I'm going to be reading today from my anthology piece, The Playboy's Pretend Fiancée. It's Sawyer Hickey's story. And if you've read the Fortuna series, you met Sawyer in book 1. He's just a easy-go-looking, goofy, non-committal type of guy. And you find out a little bit more about him in Kelly's, in book 2, and Kelly is having a relationship with him and Sawyer won't commit. And so I'm reading from his story, and his love interest is Stephanie Malone. You met her in, I think, book 1 as well, but her brother is in a ranch hand on the Big Deal Ranch, and he's notorious for saying things without thinking and getting in trouble, fistfights, and just because he says dumb stuff. So this is Sawyer and Stephanie's story. Just a little preface here. Nan and Desire are Sawyer's Aunt Wanda's friends. Now you know Desire Hardman from the series, but Nan is their buddy too, and she's a little bit more reserved than Desire, but she's kind of ornery too, but a little less tacky than Desire. Desire's just over the top. Anyway, you'll find out here. Nan and Desire lingered, sitting on the patio with Wanda. Sawyer excused himself and changed into work clothes. He chose to plant some shrubs near where the women sat. He plunged his spade into the soil and scooped out the dirt. Sweat broke out and trickled down his back. The afternoon sun beat down on him. Stephanie sat beside his aunt and patted her hand. The tender scene tugged at his heartstrings. even while guilt about lying nagged at him. Desire and Nan had their hands together. "Well, tell him," Nan said, elbowing Desire. "Fine. Hey, Sawyer. You look hot. Why don't you take off your shirt?" Desire goaded. Blushing, Stephanie laughed while his aunt covered her face. "Great idea," Sawyer hollered back. He made a show of lifting his shirt, keeping his gaze locked on Stephanie's face. Her gaze was glued on his torso, making every bead of perspiration feel like gas for a flame. He lifted the material over his head, then dropped it to his feet. He grinned at Stephanie, whose mouth had dropped open. She swallowed, then smiled. "Woohoo! Now your jeans!" Desire yelled, clapping. Sawyer went back to the plant, dropping the root ball into the hole. He glanced up, sensing commotion. Nan stood. With her hands on her hips. "I'll find it." "No, you sit and enjoy your visit. I'll get it." Stephanie rose. He appreciated the way her shirt and shorts accentuated her curves. She disappeared into the house. His aunt wore a little smirk that said she'd gotten her way. Sawyer moved to the next hole. Halfway done, Stephanie appeared at his side. I'm sorry to interrupt your work." "Any excuse to stop will do, especially when a pretty lady does the stopping." He leaned against the shovel handle. She shifted her weight as the pretty blush returned. "So, you want 30 or 50 sunscreen?" Sawyer's gaze dropped to her hands, and she held a tube of lotion and a spray can. She shook the sunscreen. "Tick-tock, you're getting sunburned. While you decide." "I don't need it," he said, shaking his head. Item still in her hand, she put her hands on her hips. "You will use it." "Or what?" He grinned. "Or I'll tell." She cocked her head to the side, and a sly grin slid on her lips. "Go ahead, I dare you." He leaned into her space, but she didn't back away. "Aunt Wanda, Sawyer won't put on the sunscreen," Stephanie tattled. Wanda jumped up, giving Nan and Desire a scare. She moved as fast as her spindly legs could carry her, with her friends close behind. Sawyer closed his mouth as his aunt approached. She pointed at him. You put that sunscreen on right now, young man. You need to protect your skin from the sun. I don't want you getting skin cancer. It's not fun." "Your skin is your biggest organ," Nan said. "Maybe not," Desire said, glancing at Sawyer's pants. Stephanie lifted the choices again. "I'll rub the lotion on him," Desire said, edging closer. "No, that's okay. Steph can do it, can't you, darling?" Sawyer grinned at her shocked face. Stephanie handed the spray back to Wanda, then picked up his t-shirt, shaking off the debris. "Turn around." She wiped his back, then squirted some lotion onto her hand, or into her hands. The cool sunscreen and her warm hands sliding over his skin relaxed his aching muscles. She massaged it into his skin. "Here," she said, when it came time to apply his apply it to his chest. He raised dirty hands. "Do you mind?" "I'll do it," Desire offered, raising a hand. "Come on," Nan said, tugging Desire back toward the patio. Stephanie wiped him dry again. How he wished he just popped out of the shower and she was toweling him dry. He crossed his eyes, humming as her fingers skimmed his pecs. Opening his eyes, he found Stephanie studying him with yearning. He tipped her head and gazed into those deep blue orbs. He lowered his lips to hers, and she gasped. She opened for him, and he swept in. She tasted sweet and fresh. Forgetting his dirty hands, he plunged them into her hair. The scent of summer swirled around, tantalizing him. They broke apart, breathless. "Your kiss is addicting," he mumbled, his forehead pressed to hers. And that was today's Tuesday teaser. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed the scenery. Just a couple of things. If you go to RochelleBradley.com/events, you will find a list of my events. And a couple of them have been canceled because of COVID. The good news is that they are going to have a virtual event on the day that they would have had the live event. So the other good news regarding that is that anyone can come, and it's free. So no charge. You don't have to worry about getting a babysitter. You can just look at all the posts, get books, order books, win books, meet some new authors. It's going to be a great time. So links to those Facebook rooms where the event's going to be, or Facebook group, are also on my on the event page. So they're canceled for this year, but next year the Writers on the River is going to take place again in July. That date is also on the event page. The Authors and Dancers Against Cancer is going to be in 2022. So that date is also on there. Plan ahead. Come and see me because I'll be at both. Plus other ones that are on that. So it's good to see ya. Thanks for hanging in there. And I'll see you again on another Tuesday teaser.